You said that one of the stated objectives of the government is actually to stop rumors, but rumors still find their way, either different rumors or the same rumors after the ban is lifted. So, in your experience as reporters, do you think such shutdowns are effective at all? Like, do they manage to contain any kind of agitation, or are they counterproductive? Do they lead to more ill will towards the establishment?
They are mostly counterproductive. When there was on 8th July that militant commander was killed, back home in evening, my cousins were saying that 50 people have been killed. They were saying thousands have been injured. I mean, the stories were going all around that this had happened, that thing has happened. And I was saying, that was rumor all over. Had there been internet access, people would have. I think, in Kashmir problem, what adds fire to the fuel is shutting down communication. Because when you shut the communication, people tend to think that perhaps there has been some more violence or something extraordinary. That's why they have shut the internet, just to curb the information. In Kashmir, television is not a reliable means to get information. Television, news channels have, I don't know, they're working very pathetically in Kashmir way. So people are just coming to that question that what are people using? They still use traditional means. In every house you will find a radio, where when there are shutdowns like this, people will listen to the BBC news on the radio in night. My father used to travel 2 kilometers to get newspaper. So print media is still prevalent there, radio is still there, and yeah, we are still reliable on the traditional media.
I want to add here, you talked about rumors. I did a story this year for the News Laundry, and the story was about the students' protests in Kashmir, when college students and the school students were protesting. So I did a story. This was about a girl who got a stone on her forehead and she was injured. And once I talked to her and I said, what happened actually? She said, earlier from her own school, Ikra was injured and her skull was completely damaged and she was in a hospital for a couple of days. So she said, the girl, one who got the stone on her forehead, she told me her name was Khushbu Jan. She told me there spread a rumor on the particular day we were having a classes till 1, and once we go for a lunch break, there a rumor happened that Ikra has died. And all of a sudden there was such an anger and we started protesting and we came out of the college, and the Navakadal college which is actually on the other side of that higher secondary school, they too come out and they had a protest, a peaceful protest towards all downtown area, and another college which is in Hawal, they too, the students from that college also joined that protest. And that is this thing. Maybe Khushbu was not injured if that rumor had not happened that Ikra had succumbed. So you can just imagine that how these rumors also create the panic, the worst situations when there is completely a communication gap.
So I have a question for Ajay Data about you run an ISP and there was a bandh in Rajasthan. Was there a formal written request, or like someone mentioned, there was just a phone call ki shut the internet down? One. Second, what was the impact on revenue? Because someone mentioned that people got broadband bills even though the internet was shut down for that period. How does this work?
So, Nikhil, we have seen many shutdowns in last 17 years, many times. Whenever there is a riot related to caste, related to reservation, related to some issue, internet is a soft target. But what we could achieve with time, with police is that they always have the law around their side and they have the right, seem to have that right to do it. So it is very difficult to counter that as a civilian or as a service provider. But what we could do it is that ban on mobile. The general general discussion when I got every time is that they do not want to have fake news or fake content flowing, and the agitation improves, agitation increases. So they just want to, that is the only intent they have. And there is nothing more than that. So when we understood the intent, we said that why do you want to stop the lease lines? Why do you want to stop the broadband connections which are installed at the business premises? Actually, this time they understood.
Also, in the case of, because Gorkhaland is an ethnic movement, so you putting the ban, hoping that people who want to break the law
saying, right
find it a little more difficult.
But on what is the police and what we could, small thing which we got out of it, that at least 100% is not off. So businesses do not suffer, the school do not suffer. If everything is banned, 144 is there, you can't even get the bread and milk. Internet is far thought of. Right now you are not surviving only. So that's a completely different situation. Here, at least in Jaipur, there was a very small riot at a particular area. And where I stay and where my business is, there is nothing related to 144. There's nothing related to any riot or any issue. We are traveling, we are going to cinema halls everywhere. But internet is banned, which doesn't make sense, right? So that is where I met personally the commissioner, and he understood our situation. He immediately modified an order, and to answer this, that order was given in writing. Order was not verbal, and it was a complete ban order for broadband. The moment I got that order, because it was supposed to come to me to shut down all the routers. Right. Then I immediately talked to him and called him and went to meet him that this is not fair. In my area is nothing. So he understood the thing. He fortunately knew me also very well. And he modified that order to that it is applicable only on mobile devices and not on broadband and lease lines. So that's one thing which we could achieve. I think if we understand the need from their side.
I think what the people who enforce the ban need to realize is the risks of enforcing such a ban. Especially in the case of Darjeeling, you have an ethnic movement going on there, and you enforce an internet ban. You run the risk of alienating an entire group of people, right? I think that's a really serious risk that you run.
It's also a bad political move.
Absolutely.
So it is, the police do not think it that way, because I discussed a lot of issues. We also almost had 3-hour meeting with him, and they think that there is a telephone which is not banned. You can communicate. There are many ways you can communicate. Internet is only...
Well, internet is not just about communication.
So actually what I gave is a different logic. When the government of India talk about Digital India,
actually, I was going to ask you about that how did digital payments function, especially with the ban on mobile devices?
That's the reason actually he immediately got it. So because you are at one time you say that I should not use money, I should go online and use 2,000 odd services on these apps by government, and I switch myself to that, and one fine day you say that you can't just use it. And overnight my bill I can't pay, I can't book my ticket, I can't do anything else. Exactly. Then how do you want to deal with that? He immediately got that click, and I think we all, I think we do not have people who ban it here. I think if we have these across the table and discuss what is the real intent, I think we can't deal the sin of bad cop and good cop. I think that is always there, right? There is always a bad intent and a good intent. But you can always deal with a good intent. And the good intent is, only good intent he had is that I don't want the rumors to flow. That's it. So, okay, if you don't want rumors to flow, then he came down to even more grinwell. He says, I don't want WhatsApp and Facebook to work. Okay, fair enough. So then you don't block internet, right? These are just two applications. And you can just issue simple directive that, okay, do not allow Facebook and WhatsApp.
But that I think will make more news than...
It's not as grave situation for people that, okay, one application do not work.
No, but then people always find alternatives, right? So therefore, shutting even one side down is
my
not
point
worth
is,
it, right?
that takes time to spread, to download, to spread knowledge, spread this another, okay, you not install hike. It takes time. You get time.
No. In fact, in the umbrella protests in Hong Kong, they shut down all internet, and people found a way to message using fire chat.
So Nikhil,
and it went from phone to phone.
I would like to add here.
Nikhil, the question is very simple. Internet, people find the ways to communicate on phone, which is not banned. So intent is not that. Intent is only very limited. Or
The
the good
intent-
intent.
The intent, sir, may be all good, but you have to what's at the root of it all? Is
So
it practical?
I don't think we are all discussing here that internet shutdown is at all advocated in a positive way. We all are on the same page, I think, right? What I am trying to put it in here is, we are not discussing here it is good or bad. We are all on the same page. I think everybody is on the same page. Here what I am trying to say is that the person who executes the ban, and we all suffer. I get an order, I have no other choice, right? Here somebody was talking about legal. Internet cannot work. Somebody can put me behind the bars if I don't follow the order. Internet must not work. I don't know about the individual user. Individual user will not get if I don't provide. It is as simple as that. Ultimately, I'll be blamed for that. Question is, I am under license. My license can be at stake, right? So there are so many things which comes on the legal issue. But can we stop not happening it? I think we are far from that. Can we run our life in spite of it exist? I think that's the way out right now. And then move further that, okay, we have complete no for internet ban. And second thing they want is, can we have all the telecom providers to say that we just want only 3 applications to shut down, nothing else. I don't care if they use another hike. I don't care. Intent is to reduce the intensity of the rumors.
Right.
It will spread. That's okay to people communicate, which they can even by telephone.
Wherever there is ban on internet, people, they socialize. But the thing is, when the ambulance drivers are not able to correspond with their, it's really pathetic. Then you can't afford that socialization at that cost. And one more thing is, I would like to add at last is that banning social media doesn't serve its purpose. Its purpose is to, banning internet is to stop spread of wrong information, the rumors, but it just adds up. Why not create an in opposite? If somebody is spreading rumor, why can't administration, use the same internet, same social media to counter that information? They will balance it. I mean, you are just you want to cut flow of information. That will not stop the spread of rumor. Instead, if somebody is spreading rumor, just counter it with the right information. I guess that will work.
See, in case of Uttar Pradesh, I guess Uttar Pradesh police has started using it very well. Few days back, there was a news that a few of the donkeys were detained. And later the Uttar Pradesh the police came with a clarification that we have nothing to do, the police department has nothing to do with detaining these donkeys. And the news, जो पहले news आया था, it became a national news. मतलब even the debates were कि गधों को detain क्यों किया गया. But the fact was, the police department had nothing to do with it. वो deputy jailer ने उनको detain करवाया था, कुछ भी था. तो later जब clarification आया, तो वो जो एक spree of messages था WhatsApp पे, Twitter, Facebook पे कि गधे detain हुए, वो खत्म हो गया. So the police department and other department have also started is using very well.
Go to the point that this is about trust. And it depends on whether people trust the administration or not and what they say.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just go back to a slightly turn of a phrase that you used. It's probably moving towards digital feudalism in a sense, where we're going.